Hi, this is Raymond Rose. This is going to be a really interesting subject to talk about today regarding decision making and why every decision you make matters. I'm going to tell you the secrets of the items that I was taught years ago. I think if you've listened to my other podcast, I was in the corporate world. I was very blessed to have a really good job. I went through different levels of training on motivation, on leadership skills, all those different types of things. And one of the things that I learned we're going to talk about today is the importance and the steps needed when you're making a rather large decision. And I'm going to use an example of something that we were just going through, myself and my family. And again, I'm very blessed. I was considering purchasing or getting involved in boat ownership. So one of the things, let's start off with this right here. Here's the big picture of the whole thing. Four things. So when you're going to make a decision, even if it's a small decision or any decision that has a level of importance, the four things I was taught was as follows. You may want to write this down or listen to this several times. Number one, so I'm going to talk about getting involved with a boat. So ready? Number one, what's the benefits of getting a boat? What's the risks of getting a boat is number two. So again, number one, what's the benefits of getting the boat? Number two, what's the risk of getting the boat? Number three, what's the benefits of not getting the boat? And number four, what are the risks of not getting a boat? Those are the four things. What are the benefits of getting it? What are the risks of getting it? What are the benefits of not getting it? What are the risks of not getting it? You make the time, you sit down, you figure out where your best thinking spots are, you think it through by yourself, and I'm going to give you the different steps that I was taught by my boss back at the time, just a wonderful, intelligent man that was my idol. His name was Ray Dano. He was just a wonderful man. He taught me this. And what he said was that when I'm analyzing a decision, I really got to consider all those four different things that I just talked about, because you're able to really think through the advantages and the disadvantages and having specific, and that's the key word, having specific understanding of the implications that are involved in when you're making a decision. So first of all, just to give you a little bit more in-depth analysis of what I just talked about. So number one, you're identifying the benefits. You really need to understand the potential positive outcomes that are going to result from the decision. So getting a boat. Oh my goodness, think of all the fun myself and my family's going to have. I'll invite some friends down there. We'll be able to go out, maybe do some fishing, do some water skiing, have some tubing, creating memories, creating fun everybody looks forward to, something that we're going to do on a regular basis, bringing my friends down there, all the fun we're going to have. That would be absolutely amazing. Does it align with my values? Does it align with what I want in my life? It does. So there's a benefit of that. But what about the risk? You need to identify the potential negative consequences that might come along with this. What are the risks associated with the decision? Short-term risk, intermediate-term risk, long-term risk. What's this? What could? No offense. What could go wrong? Or what's it going to cost me? Or what happens every time if I have the boat down near the ocean? Every time there's going to be high winds, am I driving down there, taking the boat out of the water, securing the boat? Am I paying somebody to do all that work for me? What about the cost of taking the boat out of the water every year and putting it back in the water and getting it winterized and putting it shrink wrapped and all the moving parts that are involved in all that? What are the risks of owning that boat? One of the things that Raymond Dano taught me was always bring things to their logical conclusion. I say that pretty much every single day about so many aspects of my life. Bring things to their logical conclusion. Analyze how the decision I'm going to make, the benefits and the risk, analyze how that's going to impact not only myself, but the different people that are important in my life, or even, never mind my children, my grandchildren, my friend, but even the people that are involved in maintaining my boat and all the information and all the time that's going to be involved in all those things. And what might the unintended consequences of of my decisions be, both the benefits and the risks? What could be the unintended consequences of things that might occur that might be outside of what I even thought about? So the next thing I'm going to talk about is just what I just mentioned. Get my trusted advisors involved. Ask my kids and my grandkids and my friends, hey, if I go out and buy a boat, am I going to be on that boat every single day by myself? Do you think that you might have time in your schedule to come down and enjoy the boat? Is that something that that you might want to be involved in? I mean, I'll get involved in the payment and maintaining it, but do you think that would be something that would be fun and that you would be interested in and coming and visiting on a regular basis and going out for a day on the water and fishing? Because no offense, if you don't want to do it, because I'm doing it not only for myself, but for my family, like I said, to have fun and bring on, wonderful memories. If nobody's going to do it, well, then I'm faced with, well, do I want to do it for myself? And do I want to go through all these benefits and risk if there's nobody involved with it but myself? So by asking those things, the benefits and the risk, and getting other people involved and figuring out what specifically I'm trying to accomplish, then I'm able to really make that much better of a decision. So, because if all of a sudden nobody wants to do it, then why am I even thinking about buying a boat? Because I'm doing it not only for myself, but in theory, I'm doing it, in actuality, I'm doing it for my family. So, to recap, if I'm writing the benefits of doing it and the risk of doing the benefits of buying a boat, the risk of buying a boat, and then the benefits of not buying the boat and the risk of not buying the boat, and putting it all down on paper, and then going to my trusted advisors, my family, my friends, whoever, and then putting it all together. And in some cases, talking to my financial advisor, hey, financial advisor, am I going to be able to afford this? How is this all going to work out, etc.? What's it going to cost me for gas? What's it going to cost me for storage? Then, and only then, am I able to really make an informed decision based on all the information that I've written down and I have in front of me. And then that way, when I'm making that decision and I've really, really, really thought it out and I'm not just doing it on impulse, then 1, 2, 3 years down the road, if things are going right, I can pat myself on the back and say, you know what? I really did a great job. This has been a wonderful benefit for myself and my family, just the best fun, wonderful memories. Good for me. I've thought it through. I made the right decision. If on the other hand, I come to find out that things have done nothing but go wrong, well, then it's a little reminder to me, it's a tap on the shoulder that say, you know what? As much as I thought I did a good job with that whole analysis regarding my decision, there was a whole bunch of things that I didn't think things through. I didn't bring things to their logical conclusion, or things that came up that weren't even on my radar screen. So my point to the whole podcast here is when you're making a decision, especially a big decision, list down the benefits of doing it, the risk of doing it, the benefits of not doing it, and the risk of not doing it. That's what's worked well for me. In fact, I can tell you it's never failed me. It's worked every single time. I don't make impulse decisions. I think it through, and that's the process that I use. So I'm hoping you got some good information from this. A little bit of self-promotion. I make a podcast like this every single day based on 4 areas that I think they're important to me. I think they're important to you. Number 1, having excellent health. Number 2, having lots of free time. Number 3, being really smart about money. And number 4, having wonderful habits. I make a podcast like this with valuable information every day. There's no editing. It's a live podcast. There's no videos that you have to watch that are going to distract you. So I'd appreciate it if you found value. Please consider subscribing to this podcast. Hit that little black button. Give me a thumbs up if you like the information. Number 3, please share the video with any of your family and friends. Comment in the section below. And lastly, please scroll through the other podcasts that I've got online. I've got some really excellent subjects with some valuable information. I think that you'll find it really, really helpful. So that's it for today. I'm hoping you enjoyed it. Until tomorrow, this is Raymond Rose. Thanks for listening and thanks for supporting my podcast.